Welcome everyone. Today we have another Genshin Pack News Digest. In this News Digest, we'll look into some of the bugs and also problems with the character Zhongli, also Xinyan, that is found by both the Chinese community and also by the English community, including the constellation problems, passives, and also skills not working intentionally. And because of this, we can expect about 100 to 200 Primogems as compensation reward. We'll also be looking into some of the community recommendations to make a bit of the quality life changes for the game, with the ability to craft low tier items. Next up, we'll look into some of the fun and main builds with Zhongli and also the Geo characters. And finally, we'll look into some of the fun clips and also comics by the community and also by the official developers. To start with the most important news and how can we get 100 or 200 Primogems. Currently, there are a few of the Zhongli bugs that is around. One of the most important bug is with his Constellation 2. I know this probably won't affect a lot of us because we don't have him to Constellation 1 or Constellation 2, but keep in mind guys, previously, when there was a problem with constellations, we still got Primogems with Kaching and also Mona. So if that's the case, we can look towards the Primogem compensation rewards, and that's the benefit for us. So what's happening is, with Constellation 2 Zhongli, he actually loses damage when he gets a shield. So to understand what is happening with this bug, if we come and have a look at his Constellation 2, we can see that he gains a Jade Shield, which is his E-spell, when he casts his ultimate, and this allows him to be a little tankier. But there's a problem with this. Now if we come to the party resonance for two Geo characters, when protected by a shield, the Geo characters will have the increased attack damage by 15%. And most of the posts are saying basically what happens is, let's say if he got a shield by his E-spell by holding down his E-spell, then he casts his ultimate will give him another shield, and this shield actually overrides the existing shield and he loses the Geo resonance damage bonus. So he was actually losing the 15% bonus damage by casting his ultimate with Constellation 2. And everywhere guys, on the community on Reddit and also on Chinese community, people are actually saying they don't want a Constellation 2 Zhongli, they want to switch off the Constellation because it's so bad. The shield really doesn't do much, and this is actually taking 15% of his damage. Similarly, on the post by Ruby Dragon over here, we can see that the problem with Zhongli's Constellation 2 is that he actually makes himself weaker. And I believe this is one of the bigger factors because miHoYo is not going to, have a character that you're paying money for to get yourself weaker. That's not the intention of any of the free-to-play games. You don't pay money to get weaker. So we can expect a change or a bug fix on this problem very soon, and we can expect 100 Primogems. On the similar note for Zhongli, if we come to this post by Bakno and also credits to Sonera, so what's happening is, apparently they have emailed the support about the problem with pressing down Zhongli's E-spell to send a geostructure that's not generating any of the elemental particles for him. So they wrote to support and apparently they said the support actually gave them the feedback saying this is a problem and they will look into it. I don't think this is as major as the constellation problem, so I'm not sure if they're going to fix this together or they won't probably give us another set of 100 Primogems. So I thought it's interesting to know because I did cover this in one of my reasons to buff Zhongli, because he doesn't get elemental particles just by pressing the E-spell. He still gets them by holding down the E-spell. So I think the biggest way to get Primogems is from the constellation fix with Zhongli. Now coming over to this post by NuggetHighwind, Xinyan's E-spell is currently not doing as intentional. To give you guys a bit of basic information on Xinyan, when her cast of the E-spell with the sweeping favor, when there's enemy around her, so when there's 3 enemies around her, she will have the pile damage to deal by enemies. And when she have the first talent unlocked, the requirement reduces by 1. So she does only need 2 enemies to have the level 3 of her E-spell which deals pile damage. So if we come back to this clip over here, you can see that this is what the shield should look like. It should be emulating the pile damage. And this is what happens when she casts her E-spell next to 3 enemies, or 2 after the talent. So if we come a little further, you can see our creator here testing a lot of the shield with enemies, and 2 enemies, no level 3 shield because she has her passive. It should be 2 enemies giving the level 3 shield, and that is not happening. And sometimes even with 3 enemies, you're not getting the level 3 shield, so she's not emulating the pile damage as intentional. And I was doing my testing during my Xinyan trial, if you guys seen the previous video. And during my previous testing with Xinyan on the trial run, I could not get her to trigger the level 3 emanating of the pile damage. So I did try this as well, and I was checking, what's happening, maybe like I'm doing something wrong. You can see that I will be trying to, test with her pile shield, and she's not triggering them. Notice here I'm not tickling the pile damage that's supposed to be happening. I'm not triggering that. And because of that, I thought maybe that's my fault, I'm not doing this correctly. But as you can see here with this clip, sometimes you get the emanating of the shield, other times you don't get that. So here you can see 5 enemies and you casting the shield, you're not emanating the pile damage. And this is quite massive. One of her source of damage and also debuff with pile damage will be from the level 3 shield. So what I'm thinking is maybe, very likely this is a bug and they're not fixing this correctly and it's not consistent. So what that means is we might be getting another 100 Primogems from the Xinyan fix. So 100 from Zhongli, 100 from Xinyan. Now on the topic of Zhongli and Xinyan skills and also bug fixes, there is also another Chinese post which has grown a lot of popularity since 2 days ago. So credits to傲气boy for showing us this. So the creator here realized that during the live stream demonstration of Zhongli, he was actually stoning the monsters for about 7 seconds. And he's saying basically we're counting down the seconds after the ulti slams the monster. And you can see that usually with this stream, they're actually showing he is actually stoning the monsters or petrifying them for over 7 seconds. And from our current game, we can see that Zhongli only petrifies for up to 4 seconds. So it's a 3-second difference. So they're saying maybe this is leading to false advertisement and maybe this was demonstrated on the Zhongli before the nerf with a 5-second petrifying effect. I don't think this is going to be a major factor because there can be legacy issues, there can be other issues related. But it's good that we can see both communities are looking to bug testing and also different parts of the new characters which can give us more Primogems. Now if you haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so. Make sure you also turn the bell on for the latest news as I find more of them for us. You can see that we're really dedicated for Genshin Impact. We'll have builds, guides, tips, news and events updates for everything that's Genshin Impact related. Now coming over to this post by kitsune-oni, basically what he recommends is for us to be able to craft items for the lower grade. Let's say if you got a blue item and you needed a green grade of the item, we can craft, green to blue or blue to purple, but we can't go backwards. It'd be really nice for us to get those items backwards. We don't mind paying a little more for the exchange, and we don't mind, paying a little more for that, but we can only craft things upwards, we can't craft things backwards. And sometimes with leveling up new characters, you have to farm those again. So being able to decraft items can be very useful in the game. I don't think this would be a major change to the game, and this can be a really good quality of life features for the players. Now coming over to this post by fofaksake over here, so what we can see is we're going to see a very special Zhongli build. This is just Zhongli with the Geo Traveler, and you're going to see the Geo Traveler and Zhongli is going to pop a lot of the Geo structures. Initially I was like, what's so special about this main build? So the title of this clip is the expensive main build. So what's happening is, I believe his Zhongli is at least Constellation 1. You can see the 2 pillars. The Traveler is popping geostructures, Zhongli is popping geostructures, and there's like geostructures everywhere. He is literally killing the floor 10 monsters with the geostructures. He's not attacking, he's just casting his spells with geos, and they're literally dying to the geostructures resonance damage. If you guys didn't know, Zhongli by holding down his E spell also allows the other geostructures next to him to resonate. And this kind of work back on himself as he casts more geostructures, there's more damage ticks, and this is a very slow killing phase, but it could be very effective against a lot of characters. So I thought this may be very interesting for us to have a look at it, so we don't have to just build Zhongli into damage. He can be a very interesting geo-interactive character with more geo characters on the team. We can see this post by johnesgarth over here has a lot of rewards and also a lot of achievements. So just give you guys a backstory what's happening. There is an NPC in Mondstadt who is blind and she is waiting for her boyfriend, who is Godwin. Godwin is a knight that is basically patrolling in Mondstadt and he never goes back to visit her. She really cares about him and she's on the daily commission to say, say good wishes for him, she misses him. And Godwin is not going back to her and people are getting really upset because of that. And also, if you guys didn't know, Zhongli's E structure can move NPCs in the game. I don't think it's designed this way, but it can move NPCs. So basically, if we come over here to our post of a clip over here, you can see Zhongli literally, our friend here, literally spent 8 hours to use the geostructure to push NPC all the way from the Mondstadt field into the city, so Glory can meet with Godwin. And this is actually pretty amazing. And if we come a little further, Basically, once he got them close enough, he's gonna speak to Glory over here, and he got the couples to meet. So Godwing and Glory finally met each other, and this is actually beautiful. People are loving this as well. So we're waiting for the story to progress with them too, but the player actually made this possible for them. Now coming over to this fun comic made by Rullocu over here, Genshin Impact in a parallel universe. Now we remember at the start, the traveler is actually looking for her brother or her sister and they're fishing for different food. And all of a sudden you fish Paimon. You save Paimon from the water. Paimon says, "Don't be sad, traveler, I can be your emergency friend." And the traveler eats Paimon. What did the food just say? This is an alternative universe. And basically the traveler's fishing and she got a little fish. The fish is trying to speak and she's like a munch. Oh, look at that. So cute, right? She shoved Paimon into her mouth. It's a little sad that she ate Paimon instead of having her around. So in the parallel universe, guys, Paimon became the emergency food instead of the friend. Similar to the last Paimon comic, we also have a post by Wawis over here. This is one of the official comic by the developers. It's not translated. So let me try to translate this for you guys. So you can see the traveler fighting a lot of the Paimon slimes. And Paimon says, "Oh, traveler, that's not how you do it. Let me show you how it's really done." And you see a shadow of Paimon looking over the slimes. The slime's like, "Oh my gosh." And the Paimon grabs the slimes and eat them and bashes them and turns them into the slime smoothies. And afterwards, Paimon's like, "Okay, next time you can do the elemental reactions. This time I'm all full." Paimon became Snorlax. And traveler's like, "Huh, I have an ulti ready, but where are the slimes?" So Paimon ate all the slimes. The emergency food turned into a special Paimon species that ate all the slimes. So it's a really fun little comic, and I want to translate this one for you guys. So usually Paimon is the one that's getting eaten. This time Paimon's eating back, and she became the little Snorlax. Look how cute she is. She's so chubby too. Very, very lovely. To summarize today's news digest, we had a look at how the Constellation 2 for Zhongli is actually making himself weaker, which is definitely not intentional, so we're likely to get 100 Primogems here. And also we had a look at how Xinyan's skill is not working as intentional, so maybe another 100 Primogems over here. So it's actually really nice to see both the English community and also the Chinese community are bug testing the characters and finding us more Primogems. And also we had a look at some of the recommendations to change the decrafting items so we can get lower grade items. We had a look at some of the fun admin builds with Zhongli and also the geostructures, which was really amazing. And finally we had a look at some of the interesting and a very difficult 8-hour clip to get the couples united. We also had a look at some of the fun Paimon comic where Paimon was eaten and then Paimon ate everything. Very, very lovely. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure you subscribe and also turn the little bell on for the latest news. I'll be looking towards to make more builds, guides, tips and news and event updates for us as we come further into the game. And as always, I wish you guys the best of luck with Genshin and have the most fun in exploring this wonderful world.